All right, next up, we've got Florida and Utah. Utah 6.5-point favorites in this one, and the total 45.5 across the board. Utes and Gators. This line opened as high as 10 with Utah as a home favorite in the summer, and then it dropped all the way down, to 4.5 I would say about a week ago, several days ago, when it looked like Cam Rising, the great quarterback for Utah, was for sure going to be out. But now people have heard the Cam Rising statement and interview the other day saying, I'm going to do everything I can to play and be on the field for this game against Florida. So now the line's gone back up to 6.5. Let me put it this way, and I want to be crystal clear my stance on this game. They could put Conor Mack and yours truly at quarterback for Utah. There is no way that even at plus 6.5 that I'm going to trust Graham Mertz, the Wisconsin transfer at quarterback, on the road in a nighttime environment against this kind of team and this kind of defense. There's just no way. That's not happening. Okay? So by default, this is Utah or pass for me in this game. I don't think I'm going to lay the points with Utah because we did see them struggle a little bit in the trenches with Florida when they played in Gainesville last year. Gators had their way along the line of scrimmage more than I thought they would, and their defense could be pretty decent, but I think this offense for Florida definitely is a work in progress. It wasn't great last year under a much more athletic quarterback like Anthony Richardson, who was more of a run threat and not so great in terms of the consistency throwing the ball. But now you got Graham Mertz, and look, the O-line's got question marks. I don't know if the skill position talent is where it's been in years past for Florida. You're on against a really good defense on the road in your first game of the season, and we saw what this guy did at Wisconsin. Bad decisions, noodle arm at times throwing the football, and just horrible interceptions. Awful in some of these games for Wisconsin. Yeah, I got to see it before I believe it with Mertz against still a very good defense on the road in the first game. So haven't bet it yet. I probably won't bet the game. It's probably going to be a pass, but lean Utah, probably lean under the total. But I'm sure the under's already been hit. I know it has, yes, because it opened 50.5, and it's all the way down to 46 now in this one. What do you think here, Conor? Rematch of last year, Florida-Utah.
Yeah, the total has been hit, and I don't think I'm gonna mess with the total. I'll wait on that later in the week. Yeah, rematch from last year was on Florida. Now we flip it. Yeah, Graham Mertz at QB. They think, and I want to see it. The strength will be this Florida defense. But I always talk about, you mentioned at night, day or night, Salt Lake City. I'm not betting against Utah flat out. And it's under. Yep. Yes. Oh, yeah. If you've watched any of this show, they hit the road. It's different. But here at home, they're really, really good. 14 starters. It looks like Rising is in. They got a strong defense. I think their defensive line is really, really good and should match up against Florida. Yeah, and I think the offense of Florida will take some time. And Florida has just been bad on the road the last few years. 3 and 9 ATS, non-SEC games. Touch on the total. Just they've gone over in a ton of their road games too. Have the Gators, but I didn't want to mess with that either. Utah, that even though that defense, they kind of played to some overs last year as well with Rising, but I can't get there on the total. But it's a lean for me here under the touchdown. You know me, Utah or nothing.
I agree with that, definitely. Utah or nothing for me in this one.